Hi again, Greg Bell of the News Tribune here in Arlington, Texas at the Jerry Jones Dome. 94,000 people in here tonight saw the Seahawks almost steal a playoff game when it went absolutely not at all according to their plan or how they won 10 games this regular season. 24-22 they lose, and it was remarkable it was even that close. The Seahawks could not run the ball against Dallas's front. The Cowboys devoted their entire scheme, plan, players to crowding the line of scrimmage and crowding Chris Carson's power runs. The Seahawks get just 73 yards on the ground, second lowest of the season. You have to go way back to the dark ages of week 1 at Denver when they were in the middle of throwing it all over the yard and going to an 0-2 start to get less of a running total than the number one's offense in the NFL in rushing got tonight. 59 yards by the running backs. So there you go, the plan out the window. Pete Carroll said it was the inability to convert on third down. Seattle was one of their first 7 on third downs. That one was a conversion at the end of the first half when the Cowboys gave Mike Davis a run on 3rd and 2 up the middle. 3-yard run, he just slid down so that Sebastian Janikowski could then try a 57-yard field goal. And oh, by the way, that didn't go according to plan either because Janikowski tried to kick the ball as hard as he could and strained his hamstring quite severely, according to Pete Carroll. Had the Seahawks won, they would have had to go out and find another kicker. So the Seahawks played the last 2 quarters without a kicker. They were going to try Michael Dixon, perhaps to drop kick field goals and extra points as he tried in practice in Renton a couple weeks ago when Janikowski got banged up against Kansas City on December 23rd. But what they ended up doing was going for 2 on their 2 second-half touchdowns. And had they recovered the onside kick that Dixon was trying to pooch over the front line of the Cowboys line in the final minute, it would have been very interesting to see if the Seahawks would have tried a game-winning field goal with a rookie Pro Bowl punter that drop kicks everything. He shanked him at halftime when he was practicing with Russell Wilson holding Dixon did, so it would have been a scary proposition to try to win the game with a field goal anyway. So no kicker, no running game, and the defense did what it has done in some lapses during the regular season, and that's make killer penalties and mistakes at crucial times. You remember the loss at San Francisco a couple weeks ago. Penalties at the end killed on offense. Well, tonight, Dallas holding a 3-point lead, 17-14, about 5 minutes left. The Seahawks had him at 3rd down and 8. KJ Wright closed on the receiver too early, bumped him, pass interference. The interesting thing about that play, and I talked to Wright afterwards, is it happened about 2 yards short of the line to gain. If Wright lets him catch it, such a sure tackle, he probably brings him down short of the line to gain, and they punt anyway. Hits him, 6-yard penalty on 3rd and 8, gives him an automatic first down because that's what pass interference is. Wright admitted after the game in a stand-up interview, he's always a stand-up guy, said, yep, I arrived too early. I should not have hit, I should have let go, and it perhaps wouldn't have gotten the call. That was after a miraculous interception that he might have gotten away with PI for when he bumped the receiver, tipped it to himself, and intercepted it here in this end zone to keep the Seahawks in the game early in the 4th quarter. So after Wright's PI, the Cowboys faced another 3rd and long, and Justin Coleman was guarding Beasley, the Cowboys wide receiver. Cole Beasley did a double move, headed up the field. Coleman just grabbed him and threw him down. Obvious pass interference call, another automatic first down, and now the Cowboys were across midfield. Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott run. A quarterback draw for Dak Prescott up the middle that KJ Wright said after the game it was his fault. He stayed too far back and reacted too slowly to it. Should have gotten around the blockers and reacted more quickly and stopped Elliott from getting all the way to the 1-yard line. And then he scored on a quarterback sneak the next play with a little over 2 minutes left. And that was basically the game. The Seahawks were down 2 scores. You probably noticed the Seahawks offense suddenly come to life, down 2 scores with 2 minutes left. And I asked Pete Carroll, what was so different about that drive and an ease at which they moved down the field to score on the Wilson 4th down touchdown pass to McKissick, as opposed to how difficult the first 58 minutes were. And Carroll said, well, we're in 2-minute drill. And you could go back to the age-old argument of how good this team is in 2-minute drills. Why don't they go hurry up in the middle of games? But again, remember, this team was built this season with this offensive line to run the ball early and often to set up play-action passes later in the game. It was a philosophy they became wedded to from week 3. They won their last 10 of their last 14 games that way. So they weren't going to change tonight when the run wasn't working early and throw it all around the yard like you may have wanted them to. Carroll was not going to do that. He doesn't have the pass protection to do it. Russell Wilson may have been sacked about 6 times if they had done that. So that's why they stayed with the run. It just didn't work tonight. Dallas was all over Chris Carson. The 1,100-yard back got nothing, 13 carries, 20 yards, and that was really the game offensively. The Seahawks were in a mess mode after that. Defensively, the Seahawks kept themselves in the game until the late penalties. You got mistakes. You don't run the ball. This team, of course, not equipped with much more of a margin of error to absorb those mistakes and still win a playoff game on the road, and that's why the season ended. After the game, I talked to Frank Clark. His contract ended tonight. Another sack, 15 sacks in 17 games. I said, Frank, you think you're going to be back? He said, I do. I think I am going to be back. He said he thinks the Seahawks are going to get it done, and that means before he would go to free agency in March. They could use the franchise tag that would give him, probably cost him about $18 million based on last year's tag number. They could give him a multi-year deal that would be less for that per year with a higher guarantee up front. But Clark, either way, thinks he's going to get it done. And either way, he's going from $940,000 this year to perhaps $18 million per year by March. KJ Wright, I asked him, his contract, 29-year-old linebacker, you think you'll be back? He said, I want to be. I said, have you gotten any indication from the Seahawks that you'll return? He said, none. He's 29. He saw what they did with Earl Thomas at the end of his contract, turning 30. Not nearly as short deal as Clark that KJ Wright will be back. All of that is online at thenewstribune.com. The Seahawks rebound season ends. Their season of expectations a lot more than people had for them, but not for themselves, losing in the first round, a wild card round for the first time in 7 tries. They had a 6-game winning streak in the wild card before tonight. On thenewstribune.com, you see all my coverage, and of course on Twitter at GBellSeattle. And thank you, all of you, all season for watching, following, and reading my coverage for the Tacoma News-Tribune. I'll be in Renton tomorrow for cleanout day and giving you the rest of the week, recapping the season. But again, thanks for watching, and happy off season to all of you.